Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit today about trust, and I want to analyze this a little bit and pick it apart and give you a new way to look at what trust is and what it could mean to you in your life. And I'm probably speaking to, or I'm hoping that I'm speaking to a younger person in this world that maybe hasn't had the experience of bestowing your trust on somebody or something, getting burned by that. I think we're all going to go through things like that in life in general. You will certainly have to learn this the hard way a couple times over, probably at that. So don't feel bad. That's all of us. We've all made the mistake of putting trust in something that we probably shouldn't have in our lives at some point. But I wanted to give you a new way to look at trust and understand like what exactly trust is. And I hope that you can carry this forward with you and apply this and utilize this maybe as you go on down the road and everything that you do in life. This is a huge key piece as you involve yourself in relationships, certainly romantically, definitely friendships, your wheelings and dealings with your family, and certainly when you go out there and do business in the world, either as an employee, as a manager, as a business owner, as a business to business person, like all sorts of situations. This trust business will be such a key piece, and a lot of times the rationale or the determination that you make to decide to put trust into something will either work really well in your favor, or it'll just burn the hell out of you, and it will hurt and it will suck and it will cause damage in your life. And that is no fun to go through, needless to say. So I wanted to start off and just talk about what trust means to me at this point in life. I'm almost 40 years old. I've seen many different situations play out. And what I've come to know trust to mean is trust is a track record. It's a quantifiable track record of somebody else's behavior in given sorts of situations. So they have this repeated, like we say, this history or this track record of doing one thing over the other or acting in a certain way that you can point to that. You can look at something like that and you can make a good judgment based on what their track record is with you in their life, right? And so that's why a lot of times when we talk about trust, it's like, yes, trust takes time to build. Trust doesn't just come out of nowhere, theoretically. And a lot of us do make that mistake where you'll put your trust into something that has like no track record in your life. And it's tempting to do. I think a lot of times we cross paths with people that are good at selling us on whatever, and they make us think that we can trust them. But at the end of the day, you get burned enough times doing that, and you realize all of what I'm talking about here. But as we said, trying to prevent those situations from happening, if you get good at just recognizing this or thinking about trust in this light, you'll be good at not giving your trust away so freely, and you'll really hold out until you've got some definitive track record with somebody. When you finally decide to get to the point where you do want to trust them and you do want to put some stock of your life into their hands, kind of thing. This will be you can do this in better conscience if they've got a solid track record with you. And it's like the other analogy that I was thinking of was, it's kind of the same thing when you're ready to buy a house, right? You go down to the bank and you talk to your mortgage guy and you say, hey, I want to take this loan out and buy this house, and I want you, bank, to give me $500,000 so I can go out and buy this house and do what I want to do. Think about the way that the bank operates in this situation. I mean, they don't just look at you and say like, wow, you seem like a really nice guy, and it just, sounds like you got your stuff together, and like, okay, you seem like a trustworthy person. Here you go. Here's $500,000. It does not work like that, right? You know this. What do? They pull your credit report. They look at your bank accounts. They look at your financial history. They look at, does this guy have a proven track record of paying his bills on time? What's his overall financial picture looked like for the last, 5 or 10 years leading up to this now? Then and only then, when they can see and identify and prove this track record that you have and make this rationale that it's like, this guy is a good person to lend some money on because we can see these things. Then they put their trust in you and they say, okay, this all checks out. This all looks good. Like, here you go. Here's your $500,000, and go on, do what you want to do in life. And I think that understandably so. Like, that's how the whole system works. I mean, they do this enough into a rigorous enough of a fashion, let's say, that yes, our whole financial system continues to function as it does. Just imagine how things would crumble so quickly if there wasn't these sorts of steps like earlier on part of the bank to check people out and just make sure they have a track record, as I'm saying, before they go out and trust people to do things. So maybe it's kind of I hope you can see the analogy there, but I hope you can relate that to your life. And when you're out there operating and you're meeting people specifically, I want you to think about this, and I want you to really try to ascertain when you meet somebody and you're considering whether to trust them with your heart or with your money or with your anything that you have to give that's important to you. A lot of times you're going to have this feeling where you're like, yeah, I really want to trust you. I think I can trust you, but I don't know. It feels like an okay thing to do, but I'm just telling you, you should fight those temptations to some extent, and you really need to see a track record out of people before you do too much of that bestowing of trust upon them. You need to have a proven track record of how they act, how they treat you, what sort of person they are. And then over the course of time, the more track record you have on them, the better equipped I think you are to as we say, to put some trust in them and to do progressively more and more, let's say, valuable things with them in life. Like we said, like giving them your heart, or giving them, your whatever it is that you are wishing to share with other people in this world. There just has to be some element of, or a large element, let's say, of trust in the picture. If you're really going to do these things and protect yourself to some extent, of course. Like, you don't want to just be out there freely subjecting yourself to hurt and bad situations and all this kind of stuff for obvious reasons. That doesn't make anybody feel good. And yeah, maybe there's something to be said for you of course will grow out of those situations, and you will do as I have done, and pretty much every single person walking the face of this earth has done, like learning the hard way, i.e. putting your trust in somebody or something that you never should have from the first place. But if you can just remember this message and keep this one with you, and think about this the next time that you're at that crossroads of like, do I trust or do I not? Ask yourself, what's their track record like with me? Do they have a track record? Is there any history here to even examine, or am I just starting out fresh? And yes, it's completely ridiculous to bestow your trust on somebody you've just met without any sort of track record going on there. So I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope this helps you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk again real soon.